So FQ,
Hey man, what's up?
we've had some interesting comments being made over there in Lahore. It's kind of reminding me of the United States.
I don't like the look on your face, man. Are you being cheeky here?
I think I am being a bit cheeky. Absolutely. I honestly thought, living here in the U.S., I thought that we were the only ones whose, politicians, our leadership insulted us on a regular basis. So that's kind of, it was a little interesting for me to see that. I guess I thought that there was a little bit more civility in your part of the world.
No, you see, we've got the same people. We have Trumps in various situations. We've got Donald Trump, we have Blowjob Trump, and we have Trump Khan.
Yeah.
So given the three Trumps, it's the same everywhere, man. It's the same Trump everywhere.
No, it
That's
absolutely
and
is.
that's what you're getting.
I think it's really interesting because I was going through different. I know that this was said, to Pakistanis, and this was your person that did it this time. However, I started going back. This is a really interesting segue. I typed in. All I did was I typed in Donald Trump's insults. I typed in Google Donald Trump's insults to the American people, and there's 598 people, places, and things Donald Trump has insulted on Twitter. 598 things. And so, you know what?
You mean 598 unique insults?
Well, I mean, come on. I think that they're recycled to fit
I
different
mean,
groups and stuff. But, 598.
I mean, unique recipients.
That's correct. Yeah, and
That's
this is
a good show, man. Well done.
This was updated on May 24th. This was updated on May 24th. So I don't know what the current count is because this happens all the time, every single day. And so it's really interesting because some of the ones that we constantly hear, fake news. Doesn't matter what's being said. It doesn't matter what media outlet. It's always fake, right? The other thing is that do-nothing Democrats. So we have, I don't know, I'm going to just say we probably have about 40%. I don't know numbers here, but we've got Democrats, Republicans, and then a certain group is independent. But what you do every time you talk about the do-nothing Democrats, I mean, think about it. What are they saying? Everybody that's not like me is a dumbass. So it's just it's a constant barrage of insults from our elected leaders and stuff.
But it's the same everywhere. It's the same in every group. It's the same in every country. That has now become the norm pretty much all over the world. If you're not with us, you're a butt fuck. I mean, either you're with us or you're a piece of shit. And everyone's like really vulgar and disgusting about it, man.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you have to see the comments on my last two videos, which are in Urdu. But I guess you've learned a word or two. Hey, you jahil, you jahil, man. You're a jahil guy.
I am. Totally. I'm Johil Kam. Absolutely. And the word that the other word that I've learned that I use quite frequently in my daily life because nobody here in the U.S. knows it. It starts with a B and ends with
no way. Does that involve siblings?
I say I'm an equal opportunist, man. I'm an equal opportunity insulter, so it makes no difference to me. But yeah, so yeah.
So, by the way, who taught you that? Who taught you that? I didn't. Who did?
You pick up some things, or you pick up a thing or two along the way, and when you get
Tell me it was Rafia. Tell me it was Rafia. I bet your bucket was her, right? She's got a mouth on her.
When somebody calls you something, you go. At least I do. I go look it up. So, yeah, it's really interesting. It's just a really interesting phenomenon that I see it as really interesting. And in that like, why are we tolerating this? And again, I don't know your system. I'm just going to talk about the United States and our system. And every few years we have what we call elections. And so really what that is that's a reaffirmation of your job. And I'm just going to say, like, if I were to say some of the things that my president says, some of my elected officials and so forth, if I were to say that in my job, I'd get fired.
Yeah, you won't have a job, man.
And yet the American public, we continue to vote in people. We continue to vote in people that do nothing but insult us. I mean, many years ago, that's a very famous quote. You look around, and Donald Trump came right out and said, he was quoted as saying, if I was ever going to run for president, I'd run as a Republican because they're stupid.
Yeah,
Well, guess what?
On record.
He proved that correct, didn't he? We are all stupid because we all voted for him. So I don't know how your system totally works, but
well, that's what I said in my video last night, which triggered this show. That she's right. That's the health minister of Punjab, this province I live in. I say, but you're right. If we were an educated, sane society, would we bloody elect you? We're obviously stupid and illiterate and morons. Why else are you our leader? If you've got the balls, why don't you go and run for president or prime minister or an MP, say in Belgium? I want to see you become a minister in Denmark or Sweden. Okay, no. I said, those are developed, industrialized countries. Just show me if you can do it in Sudan. I'd be happy for you. You'd probably get your ass kicked in Vietnam. So yeah, we are a moronic society because we elect leaders like you. So same for you, mate. I mean,
totally.
Look at what you're electing. Look at what you're picking up. I mean, and progressively, you've Bill Clinton, Obama was not so bad, and suddenly you went nosedive. And well, you know what? Actually, you had some illustrious Republicans. George Bush Jr. Wow.
Yeah, and actually, there's a famous photo of him where he's given the bird. And I can appreciate that. Truthfully, I think it's really interesting where we continue. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, FQ, we're proving them right. We are stupid. We are stupid. My question really is like, I guess really what my question is, I mean, sometimes when people insult us, it's really just about like, sometimes you have to question whether or not the insult is true. And when I look around at people, it's some of them are just disgusting attacks and insults. However, when people are making it out like, because the minister, Dr. Rashid, said Lahoris are ignorant. For them, Corona is just a joke. And all I'm going to say is it here in the U.S., for a lot of people, Corona is just a joke.
Well, for people, for people in the U.S. it's a joke, and for president it's a joke. But guess what? Over here, the prime minister in the beginning said it's just a common flu. It's going to go away in 3 days. This lady herself said that if you get this, just take Panadol for 3 days, you'll be fine. And our advisor on COVID and health matters kept saying. Masks are no use. You don't have to wear them. It's all right.
Right.
And
we're being told the same thing here, except by the health officials. So the health officials are the ones actually saying, no, wear a mask. And then what we have to do is we split hairs. Oh, so you mean I don't have to wear a mask if I social distance? Why are we so resistant to doing both? Like, none of this makes any sense. And I can just tell you, as I was going through Google searches, looking at Dr. Yasmin Rashid, what I was finding that I haven't found a picture of her wearing a mask at all. Perhaps maybe she did somewhere, but here I have a picture right here. In fact, I'll just share my screen on this one. I have a. Let's see, how do we change this here? So basically, I don't have I can't see. Bunch of pictures here, like especially this one right here. There's other people around. Well, that actually looks like, I don't want to say that because that looks like it's split or edited. But here's a perfect example right here. Here's your prime minister. Here's Dr. Rashid and whoever else this person is that's probably contracting corona at that moment as well.
Oh yeah, but she wears it every now and then, but usually she doesn't. But then you know what? Again, I don't have a problem if she's doing a press conference and she doesn't wear it. Because you know what, the thing is, she's in a situation where she doesn't need to. I don't want people wearing masks just to show off. But if you're standing next to 5 people, then you better bloody wear it.
I want people to wear a mask just to show off. I'm going to come out and say it. I don't
just
care.
To make a statement.
Just wear it. Like, set the example. Set the example, just wear it. And let's stop making exceptions of when we can and when we can't and everything else.
Fair enough.
Like, honestly, man, I'm just going to say, like, I've got a big beard, and that doesn't always do everything it can to cover my ugly face. I think we just need to be a little bit more honest about our appearance. So let's cover it.
Touche. I was about to say that. You know what? In many cases, you'll do the mirror or the camera a favor.
Absolutely.
There you
I'm
go.
one of
Okay, somebody's actually wanting to join us on this thing. Would you say, man? There is somebody here who said he wants to join in. If he's still there, well, throw the link out, man. Let me do it. Okay, I'm posting the link. If anybody wants to come in, please do join us.
You know, and the interesting thing is what I'm noticing is I think people that are provocateurs are prone to this anyway, this type of rhetoric and these types of comments. But now we actually have, it's interesting over here. Everybody looks at the United States as, oh, you guys have the First Amendment and freedom of speech, except when it's something that a politician doesn't like. And so now this whole thing is coming where professional sports teams are saying, hey, you know what, we're going to allow our players to take a knee and do the silent protest. We were wrong in suppressing their rights to do that. And so now we have politicians, one actually out of Florida, Senator Matt Gaetz, who's just a known dumbass provocateur. He truly just is. He wears big old gas masks in the Senate floor. He does all kinds of crazy stuff just to make a point. And now what he's doing is he's trying to draft legislation that's not going to go anywhere. Everybody knows it's not constitutional. It's not going to go anywhere. So it's really just a dog and pony show of saying that all sports teams in the United States have to they can't sit or kneel during the national anthem. Primarily, and here's the interesting thing. Primarily the U.S. national soccer team. Well, let's just talk about the U.S. national soccer team. Nobody cares about the men. Come on. Nobody cares about the men.
It's not football.
Though, our women are like badass soccer players. Like they win titles and everything else. Our women's team is legit. And so who's the picture that he puts up? Who all of this? I mean, really what it is, it's not just about the national anthem. It's a way to take and attack the women's soccer team, which is just absolutely insanity. Like, why are we allowing these people that we vote in our case, Donald Trump's coming up every 4 years. The president does. The senators, I think, are every 7 years. Why are we not terminating them when they treat us like absolute garbage? Why do we just let it go? But people cannot say that stuff at their own jobs and get away with it.
That's an interesting question. How did we reach this stupid era where our leaders, not our leaders, screw that word, they're not our leaders, the people we employ to do our shit for us for a few years so we can get on with life. They are our servants. That's why they call public service and public servants. They are servants. Our tax money pays them. They are employees. And why do we let them treat us like they're bloody King George or whoever? What the fuck, man? Who the fuck are they?
I completely agree.
I mean, when will real democracy? I mean, Sweden, yeah, that sounds like a democracy to me. Beyond that, where is real democracy? Has humanity not yet come out of monarchy? Are we still addicted to monarchy?
Well, I think we probably are to some degree. I think that we probably are to some degree. I mean,
we like to have our ass kicked. Is that what you're saying?
Sure. But I mean, and I just speak to the United States. It's just really interesting when we talk about monarchy. The thing that's the most present monarchy that we have in the United States is what we see out of the royal family in the UK, right? And the whatever their names are, I don't really follow all of that stuff. But I'm just saying, like, we're fascinated with it, and yet I ask, like, people, like, we always say, like, well, but what exactly do they do? Like, I don't really know, other than maybe it's just a public figure or something like that. The difference is I don't hear the Queen, and maybe she has in the past, but I don't hear the Queen. I don't hear her taking and calling people stupid. I don't hear her just hurling insults at people. I mean, I know that she took a couple pot shots at Donald Trump, but I mean, come on, he takes pot shots at everybody. I mean, at some point it's going to come back on him, right?
Well, he's fair game. But you know what? You're right. In England, England, one of the biggest welfare states and one of the few welfare states in the world. You're right. In England, leaders cannot get away with insulting people. It's a unique thing in America. If you're wondering what happened to my hand, I'm sorry. It looks really weird. I've shaved beyond here because rubber gloves were pulling my hair. So this is my actual skin color.
I thought maybe you were using one of those whitening creams.
No, this is actually my skin color. And I had to shave because wearing rubber gloves, used to pull my hair.
Sure.
So it looks really weird, yeah? Anyways, so yeah, so yeah, Britain behaves quite, much better than countries like us or India or America is, wow. But the question which I'd like to open, and we've sent the link out if anybody wants to join in. Somebody had said he wants to join in. I posted the link. If you want to come in, please do come in. And if you've just joined us, it's best to go to one of our YouTube channels from where you can rewind. Hey, Dennis, you're not on your YouTube channel today.
Oh, I don't think I am, yeah.
Yeah, you missed anyways. So go to my YouTube channel so you can rewind and watch and subscribe to all our channels because we're broadcasting from multiple places, but primarily it should be YouTube because it's much easier and a better platform. So please go to dennistyrell.com and subscribe to his stuff, and go to faisalcreation.com and subscribe to my stuff. So Dennis, you know what? We should take comments before it runs too late. But
Absolutely.
My point is, what I want to question here is that why do we allow our public servants to treat us like shit? Whereas if you own a business and if you had someone one of your employees behave this way, you would kick their ass and throw them out and really slap the Mickey out of them. But here we have people.
And I think, yeah, the other thing is, like, as an employer, if I let another employee speak to somebody else that way, I can get sued. So, like,
yeah.
I'm held responsible for their actions as an employer. So we the people are the employer where this is concerned. So let's terminate them. Let's terminate them. Let's at least say, hey, you know what? There's a code. There's policies and procedures. There's a code of decorum, a code of civility, where we at least treat each other with respect and not call each other names. Like, it's incredible to me.
Well, I think it's all become fair game. Followers abusing followers, followers abusing leaders. So leaders saying, well, let us abuse followers.
Yeah.
It's become a shithole, man. It's a complete sewer. All right, hey.
Yeah.
Mr. Tusi, what are you gonna say, man?
Yeah. I think it's utterly disgusting what's happened. Utterly disgusting. Stereotyping is not something which should be done. And stereotyping, I mean, we talk about Black Lives Matters. That's stereotyping.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Discriminating against black people, that's stereotyping. Discriminating against any population is stereotyping, and that is the first step towards being brutal and being, I would say, to the next level of actually violence. It's not acceptable.
Mr. Tusi. I agree, Mr. Tusi, and I think stereotyping is one of the very first steps that we take on the way to racism, just full-blown racism.
Yeah.
And so I completely agree, and it makes no sense to me to take and label. I mean, listen, I watch the news out of Lahore in that particular area, and I see people not social distancing, they're not wearing a mask, but I see that in my country as well. And I would just venture to say that it's probably not everybody. It's a percentage that gets focused on by the media. So it's not everybody, and to just take these big sweeping broad generalizations of like swiping at people, I would like to know what the purpose is. If the purpose is to take and change behavior or to have something positive come out of it, I think we need to start that with something positive instead of with insults. Thank you.
I don't want to actually judge, because I don't want to judge her why she did it. What she did it was wrong. And I want the people of Pakistan and the people of the world to understand one thing. Do not hate a person. Hate an action.
Absolutely.
Hate an action, not people. So if some people in Lahore acted weird and they didn't do social distancing, hate that action of some people not doing social distancing instead of actually hating the people or actually abusing the people. And that's not something which should happen in any civilized society.
Absolutely.
Well, I would add to that. You said you don't know why you did it. Before you leave, Susie, I'm going to say this. I agree. We are a moronic people. We don't obey laws and rules. We're out of control. We're ballistically, psychopathically weird. But I can say that to you, And you're welcome to say that to me, but none of our bloody employees are going to say that to us.
Right.
You don't allow your doorman to come tell you, sir, you're a jerk. You don't do that. So these guys have been delegated. They are being paid by our tax money to fix the problem.
Yeah.
They cannot come and say, well, why the hell are you in the assemblies and the senates and the houses? You're there to make laws and enforce them. That's why you're there. If I wanted to be told I'm an idiot, I already know I'm an idiot.
You know,
I know my neighbor is an absolute jerk. That's why I put you there, so you'd fix the jerk, not tell us, oh, we're sorry, we told you you're jerks.
Yeah, but FQ, I just want to come in and say, I mean, in just a moment here, excuse me, Mohammed, I just want to say, you know, it depends on the position. I mean, if I call someone a jerk, that's not the same. It's not the same. I'm not in a position to where, like, I mean, I understand that words matter, and I try to watch what I say. I'm just simply saying, but I'm not the president. I'm not a governor. I'm not a provincial leader. And so when you're in one of those positions, your words carry more weight.
Yes. And you're more accountable. Simple.
You
and there's actually a lovely terminology which I would love to say that. Incompetence of the competent authority.
I like that.
Fair enough,
That's actually I actually keep on hearing Irfan had one of the academics actually saying that, and it goes to my heart because yes, this is actually an example of incompetence.
No,
there's
right,
something called over here which you call. Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Mr. Tusi.
So hey, let's quickly take a few comments.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as they're not Jahil Khan.
Yeah. So let's go backwards. He himself is using abusive language. Yes, I am, because you know what? I am just having fun on YouTube. Make me the prime minister, and I would behave very differently. So don't come and tell me how I'm behaving, man.
Of course.
You don't pay me to do this. I am not a minister. I'm not a governor. I'm not taking your tax money. I'm the taxpayer. I can behave any way I like. You know what? God, now people are really coming in. I love it, man. I think I'll have to go top down. It's yeah. Okay, the guy is making situation worse and worse, always spreading so much hate. I think you, sir, should be banned from all meeting. Oh, I love you too, Janu. Love you. I'm not spreading hate. I'm just repeating what your stupid leader said, man. I'm not spreading hate. I'm just reiterating what they're spreading hate, not me, man. And if that's not your leader, well, good for you, man. If that is your leader, well, bad for you. Your problem. No wonder I'm a flop anchor. Well, guess what? You're the one.
Funny.
You're the one watching me and commenting on my timeline.
You're the one making it worse. Yet the leaders are the ones making the comments. They're the ones making these comments, but you're making it worse. So it goes to my whole question. You know, I'm sorry, man. I got to go off for a second. So what is the deal? What's the problem here? Is it that the bad behavior, or that I'm talking about it? Like I don't understand that. I'm not the one that said those stupid things. I'm just repeating it and talking about it. So it's just really interesting. You know, like what? Let's take and put the onus on the person with the bad behavior instead of those sitting around and talking about it.
You know, if you took that video and shared it in your timeline, people are going to say, "Oh, you're an asshole." What did I do? I didn't say a word. I just took what she said and put it there. Why am I a bad person? Right. I haven't. Half the time, I don't even put a caption. I just take the content, put it there. That's it. Leave it to your imagination, and I get abused. I'm like, what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, a flop anchor, whatever.
Okay.
Flop anchor.
You know what? This is such a beautiful comment, and I have no way of explaining it to you. Kabhi aao na Lahore khushboo laga ke. It's like, okay, can someone here explain how to explain this line? Okay, the story is somebody like TikTok or something made a video to somebody, and like it was a very homosexual kind of comment towards somebody, and he said there's something like, if you said something bad about me, and I would say, why don't you come here sometime wearing a perfume, and I'll show you how bad I am. Okay. So that's what this is. Kabhi aao na, come here sometime. Lahore, khushboo is perfume. We have a viewer called Khushboo Altaf. Khushboo is a beautiful smell. Khushboo laga ke, wear a good smell and come someday, and we'll show you how bad we are. I'm an attention seeker drama queen. Yeah, right. Well, you know what? Look who's talking, man.
I don't know,
okay,
man. I'm going to check out his profile. He's pretty hot.
Dude, there's nothing there. I can tell it's fake account.
Those big, beautiful, long locks of hair.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, Adil, and I don't smell good.
Okay, this is a good one. Khushbu, I very like it. National called Lahori Jail. Yeah, these morons came into our homes to ask for votes. We're some Giles who elected this party. This government won't ever take the blame, mind it. Hey, did you vote for them? If you did, you want to apologize now. This is a good time.
Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna say, people vote for whatever, and like it's okay if you end up getting duped. It's okay if you end up getting duped. It's okay to come out and go, man, how could I have known that? It's really interesting. I worked with somebody, and honestly, I took this on. It was about, I don't know, it was before the election, about 5 years ago. I had somebody, they reached out to me and they said, hey, I like you. I've seen some of your content. I'd like to work with you and get some coaching and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And at the end of our little conversation, they said, hey, and I just want you to know, I 100%, I am a MAGA, Make America Great Again person. I am absolutely voting for Trump. I 100% believe in it. And if you've got a problem with that, I refuse to work with you. And I'm like, challenge accepted. So challenge accepted. And so now the interesting thing is now that we're coming to the end of the first term, this person has really like changed their mind and said, I agree with some policies, but I can't get behind the policies because this whole thing over here it's just insulting. It's just making comments. It's all kinds of rhetoric without any value. So, I appreciate when people come out and say, you know what, I actually have changed my opinion or my views. And I think that's great. I think it's absolutely wonderful because it shows growth and it shows that there's some critical thinking involved. So regardless of what people believe, I just respect the fact that there's some critical thinking that gets played into that, regardless if it's the way that I would critically think about a situation. So I think that's what makes it so awesome. And again, I'm going to use a quote from Noam Chomsky, who I think he's really awesome.
He's cool. He's very cool.
If you don't believe in freedom of speech for everyone, you don't believe in it at all. And I couldn't say it better than that.
Rafi says there is articles on BJ and his insults as well. I didn't know. All right, Bushra, that says a lot about you people. You guys elected him after that. That was a presidential debate, right?
Well, I just want to come out and say that he did not win the popular election. So he lost the popular election by 3 million. So there's other things involved. But
you know what I want?
Bushra, I do remember.
You know what?
And I think it's gross.
Dennis.
And it shouldn't.
You know what I want to do to that comment of yours, right? I just can't do it. I'll get into trouble. But you know what I'm saying, right? Come on, get over it, man.
Hey, get over what? I'm just telling you
what
the facts
do you mean popular vote? He still won.
Because we have two systems. It's a two-system deal. So he did not win the popular vote. He lost the popular vote by like 3 million people. What he got was like the 6 to 8 electorates from each state. So he won over what we call the electoral college.
Right, we have the same
Huge
problem.
Debate about that.
The number of votes for our dodo are very low, but he just kind of by technicality he won.
Well, I mean that's what we've had our last several elections. So I mean,
same thing. Man.
I think and anytime you talk about we need to like look at our election system and do some overhauling, everybody's like, oh no, then all you're going to do is get the idiots voting because we don't want everybody to vote. Right.
So this guy wanted to join in.
Why do you think we incarcerate so many African Americans? But at the end of the day, what we've done is we take away their vote because they don't get their civil rights restored. Lock them up, they lose their rights, and they can't vote.
That's one way of doing it.
It's a continuation of slavery. So anyway, go ahead.
We sent you the link. You haven't come in, Mr. Knight. If you want to come in. If you haven't seen the link, it's probably because you're following me on my profile or someplace. You have to go to either to one of our Facebook pages or my YouTube to see the join link. Rafia, well, obviously it is, love. Well, it was. Hey, Dennis, you want to give her the pleasure of, that was her?
She's an intelligent human being. I think she figured that one out on her own. I don't think that needed any more explanation. Rafia, you goofball.
Okay, so if anyone loves Pakistan, then unlike or unfollow him and reply also, hey, good for you, man. Thank God. Good riddance, bro. Please. It was polluting anyways. Yeah, here.
This is what I think is pretty. Oh, go ahead.
Because being foul-mouthed is a prerequisite. Yes, thank you. You're right. Everybody in this party is foul-mouthed and abusive. And the thing is, now she's come out and apologized for it. But here's my point. Well, I'm going to wait for it because that comment is coming in. I'll comment when we get there. Boris Chan insulted Muslim. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Well, I love you too.
A dog.
Well, there's biased people who are desperately looking for any minor issues. Wait. How am I looking for a minor issue? He's the one who's creating his own issues. I'm just repeating what you guys do. I haven't created an issue. And yeah, it's okay for her to apologize. That's really funny. She's a public servant. And if I call Dennis a nasty word and I say, oh, I'm sorry, does that work really? In which world does that work? It may work for your brother or your sister or your daughter or son, and you make a mistake, you say sorry. But if an elected representative of people comes out and calls her own voters stupid, how can you just apologize and get away with it? I'm sorry. She should be thrown out of the party if she doesn't resign herself.
Well, I would be interested as to where some of these people are located there, in your country, because I think that probably plays a part in this as well. I mean, if you look at United States, you look at places like California, Oregon, and Washington State, known as very left-leaning and liberal compared to the rest of the country. In my mind, it's just progressive, and that's why I live on the West Coast. But it's I think it's really interesting when you start looking at the geography and where people's loyalties lie. What I'm simply saying, and Mr. Faruqi, and all my point is, I don't think there's making a mountain out of a molehill. And I still, whether or not people are stupid is one thing, but to have the people that we pay to actually come out and say that about us, it's divisive. Period. It's divisive, and it's meant to prove a point, as opposed to taking and setting the example of saying, hey, you know what? Everybody has to wear a mask. Why won't that come out and just be said? Why won't social distancing? Because everybody wants to these elected officials want to take and just run their mouth without really taking and, doing anything about it. It's all for ratings. It's all for elections. It's all for this stuff. And it's funny because this is for ratings too. So what's the difference? Why is it okay for them, but not for people like Faisal and I? That's what's really interesting.
Absolutely. So Fatma Sabur, obviously PTI. I'm sorry, girl, Yuthia. What Yasmin actually said wasn't even an insult, more like I'm sure it's a reality check for people who elected her. They were stupid. But she can't say that everybody, because alhamdulillah, majority of the people, like we're talking majority vote, did not vote for this party or these leaders. So yes, people who did elect them, you're right. I fully agree with you, miss. It was a reality check. Well done. I'm glad now you know who you are.
But
really.
Why are we? This is amazing. Again, why are we taking? We are the ones. We as humans, we as citizens are the ones being insulted. Why are we taking and figuring out a way to justify these ugly comments? That's just amazing to me. Like we're figuring out a way to say that you know what? We earned being insulted. We earned it. Somehow we brought that on ourselves. Listen, like
this comment. She goes on, man. Exactly what you're saying. Like this comment.
Fatima, I agree. But I don't disagree with that at all. And I think that, human beings, we vote against our own interests. We do things that are not in our best interest all the time. My point is that people take and get elected to certain positions. And I think that in a lot of ways, I think most people, and I'm going to come out and say this, I think most people get into positions or they run for office or something because they want to do good. I truly do. They want to enact some sort of social change, some sort of good type of, program. But what happens? You can do all of that without taking and calling people names. You just can. That's all I'm saying. And to take and justify other people's bad behavior is just nonsense.
So here it is. It would be better if you spoke to the nation about how they should be behaving. Excuse me, while those who are paid to do it abuse me, I should do their bloody job? Why would I do?
We are talking about how people should be behaving amidst this crisis.
No, I'm not. No, man, I'm not.
Yes,
not. I'm telling people to do whatever the fuck they want. The thing is, it's not my job. These people are paid.
The abuse. Stop taking the abuse and the insults from the people that are paid to take and regulate the situation. Like, this is what they're paid to do. I mean, I'm sure that none of these people wanted Corona to come or anything else. However, it's here. It's here, and so we have no choice but to take and deal with it. So instead of taking pot shots at the citizens, instead of making fun, let's take and do something positive. I think we are talking about how people should behave, and one of the things that we should behave in a way that we should behave is stop being so tolerant of these people insulting us all the time.
Yeah. Roger says, insult from leaders or representatives shows the attitude towards people they represent. They know they're not accountable for whatever they do. And They also know they haven't done diddly-do, so all they can do is blame either the previous government. In the beginning, Donald Duck actually blamed Barack Obama for the chaos in healthcare facilities when COVID hit. Mm-hmm. Really, he said he did not leave a COVID contingency plan. Really? So here comes PTI. They had nothing left to blame. I mean, they had nobody to blame for this one. So people are to blame. People are stupid. What? Get out of here, man. Naida Sayed, fake name. Oh, please spread hating among people. Do you have something good to share? Yeah, like what? Your fake picture?
I don't even have anything to say to that one. That's lame.
Morons.
And I want to take this on.
Go on, man.
You're just like a dog. And I'm just going to come out
I
and
love
say,
you too.
Here's the deal. I don't know how dogs are looked at in your part of the world, but I'm going to tell you, that's extremely insulting to somebody like me. Because I can tell you, my dogs...
Bring her in, man. Bring her in. Where is she?
No, they're asleep right now. I don't want to wake them because then I'll have to feed them and stuff. I need to get some more work done after this is done before I take and get interrupted by that. But I just see again what we're talking about. I just think this is really interesting. Here's exactly what we're talking about, right? People taking and calling names and just throwing insults and being hateful, and here you are. So listen, please call me the dog because my dogs, they're badass and truly the loves of my life.
God bless, man. You should watch what I said last time. Well, you know what? It's the new norm, man. It's like everyone's saying whatever they want to say, and it's all right. So go for it.
This is don't be a blind camp follower. No one has the right to call out some specific people, and calling them to help isn't a good way. I would agree.
I think they're having cross communication somewhere there.
Oh, okay. I don't think communicating that is a good way, and calling people stupid and unintelligent or uneducated and so forth. Then educate me. Sit there and call me names. Yeah, I don't know, Kushbu. I don't know. Abusive is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? I mean, that's on the recipient. So it's I'll tell you, I don't like it. I don't like being called these names, especially by people that I pay to do it. I don't like it, and I get really tired of it. And I'll just speak to my own country, which is just like, stop running around telling everybody to do their jobs and get back to work and reopen the country. How about you shut your mouth and do your job? And I'm speaking to the United States.
So here's what's happened. She's not really abusing us. What pisses me off is not the language she uses. What pisses me off is they're there to do a certain job. It's like you hire a chef to cook for you, And then when he doesn't do the job, instead of saying, I failed to do my job, he comes out and tells me, hey, you're an idiot. You don't know how to eat, all right? So that's why I couldn't make you a meal. You're an idiot. You're stupid because you don't know how to eat. That's why I didn't make you a meal. I'm like, why are you here again? And why am I paying you? So that's what the problem is. Language, sure, that can be subjective. I can say, well, it's all right, man. I use abusive language. I use much more abusive language. Okay, fine. Tit for tat. You call me Jahil, I call you, which I can't because I know you'll send goons at me, after me. So I will not say, but the thing is, okay, fine. But my problem is you've been tasked to do a job. Instead of doing the job, you're telling me, I don't know how to do my job. Then why are you there? Quit.
And why are
Go
you,
home, man.
Why are you taking and coming? Why are you, devaluing your position and status? Why are you, if that's the way you feel, like, why are you getting involved with the common man? If you're so much elevated, why are you getting involved with the common man? So I do want to say, you know what, if somebody comes out and apologizes, I'm okay with that. I mean, it doesn't take the initial comment away. I mean, I've made stupid comments as well, and I would like to have a little bit of grace give it towards me as well. I just think, though, at some, like, there's a time when you can't take certain things back. And in this day and age, when everything goes viral so quick, like, I mean, you don't really get to take that stuff back. What I'm going to encourage is for all of us to just take a little bit of a collective breath of fresh air and let's tone it down a little bit, because I think one of the things we need to start talking about on this show is F these leaders. Let's stop waiting for them to set the example, because they're not gonna. It's time for us to lead and us to take the charge. And so, like, wearing a mask, I don't give a shit whether somebody wears a mask or not, an elected official. They're idiots. They're more stupid than they're calling me. So why not just take the ownership of myself?
Yeah.
And instead of just continuing to point fingers and blame. But that's time for a different topic. So I just think that, kind of like as we kind of conclude this broadcast, I just think that I just really think that, one, if you haven't followed me yet, go to DennisTyrell.com and follow me, like my YouTube videos, and subscribe to my YouTube page as well. And I just to kind of finish, I just really think, like, at some point when we start incorporating more civility into our daily life and we stop tolerating this type of bad behavior from the people that we employ, fire them the same as you would any other employee. Fire them.
Yeah.
They represent us. And
They
that's
don't
not
own us, man.
representative. That is not representative of how I want to take and be represented, especially in a world stage. We're all being watched.
And they're not the ones who own us. They're there for a job. If they don't do the job, get out. On that note, thank you, Ram. Hey, how's B2B, man?
Oh, it was really good. Actually, yesterday was a really good episode, and we discussed. I ended up talking about whistleblowers, and whistleblowing here in the United States is I don't know. In some ways, it's kind of become sport, but at the same time, the whistleblower ends up just getting their whole life upended, and they end up becoming the villain instead of the hero in the whole situation. So that's what we ended up talking about last night, and so yeah. It's really interesting.
What's up for tonight?
Tonight, I am planning on talking about cultural obligations.
Wow.
Versus personal choice.
Hey, we need to do that here as well. You're gonna really enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy the shit you'll hear.
Oh well, there's a reason that this is the topic.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for being with us.
Stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed.